All right, hello and welcome to New England Sports Today with myself, Samuel Reese, and live from Lexington, Kentucky. All right, let's get right to the Red Sox news. The All-Star game, obviously, last night. Chris Sale had one inning pitched. He allowed a hit, but had allowed zero earned runs, no walks, and one strikeout in 9 pitches. It was Sale's third straight All-Star game start. Pretty impressive. And Mookie Betts went 0 for 3. JD Martinez went 1 for 2 with a single. And it was Mookie Betts' third All-Star game. And it was the second All-Star game appearance for Martinez. Mitch Moreland was 2 for 3 with two singles. It's not a bad game for him. Mitch Moreland's first All-Star game. And Craig Kimbrell didn't pitch in the All-Star game, and it was Craig Kimbrell's 7th All-Star game, actually. And after the game, it was all over. The AL defeated the NL 8-6 in 10 innings. A thrilling game. And today's trivia is, who was the first Red Sox player to win the All-Star MVP award? The choices are Ted Williams, Carl Yastrzemski, or Carlton Fisk. And cast your votes in right here on the chat, and I'll reveal the answer at the end of the show. All right. What you need to know, there's a report that Rob Gronkowski is expected to attend Patriots training camp. So good news for Patriots fans. And also another report that the Rams signed wide receiver Brandon Cooks to a 5-year, $80 million contract extension. So a lot of money there. And also other news in the Red Sox, David Ortiz actually managed the World Team on Sunday during the MLB Futures game. And obviously David Ortiz was the Red Sox designated hitter and first baseman from 2003 to 16. And the Red Sox have the league leading 68 wins, remember that. And the Red Sox right now lead the Yankees by 4.5 games. The overnight sensation, Liz Cambage, set the WNBA singles game scoring record with 53 points. So what a performance by her with setting a record all-time in the WNBA. All right, so that's everything you need to know right now in New England sports, and we'll get talking about it. So last night, obviously the All-Star game, Chris Sale was the starting pitcher. Obviously, in the All-Star game, the starting pitcher doesn't pitch for too long. Obviously, he had one inning pitched, but he had a strikeout, and he only pitched 9 pitches, but he didn't allow a run, so that's good. And what's even more crazy is it was his third straight All-Star game start. So he's only one of 3 players to do that, the first since the late 1990s, I believe. So he's a great pitcher, to say the least, with the Red Sox, because for him to start 3 straight All-Star games, it's pretty special. And now to do with the Red Sox is even better. And also other players, so Mookie Betts didn't have the best night, 0 for 3, but it was the All-Star game. Maybe it's good. He's saving his hits for the Red Sox in the second half of the season. But obviously still enjoying the fun night in D.C. And JD Martinez, not too bad. 1 for 2 with a single. So he had a hit that got him on base in the first inning and got Mike Trout to third. But then the next batter had a pop fly that was caught to end the inning. But so JD Martinez played about the first 4 or 5 innings, I believe. And speaking of Mookie Betts, his third All-Star game. So even though he's still pretty young, speaking of young players, Mookie Betts, he's his third All-Star game, so it's pretty impressive for him, as he has had a great season with the Red Sox. And also Martinez, it was his second All-Star game appearance. So he's been there one other time before, but his first with the Red Sox, and obviously his best year in his career for most people are saying. And as long as he keeps it up in the second half of the season, it seems like that's not going to change. Mitch Moreland had even a better game. He was 2 for 3 with 2 singles. He came in the 6th inning, I believe, or the 7th. And he even had a hit in extra innings, which helped the AL get 3 runs in that 10th inning to win that game in extras. And it was his first All-Star game, so good for him. It was his first All-Star game, and he did not too bad in his first All-Star game, winning the game with the AL and 2 hits and helping them to victory. And the other Red Sox player, Craig Kimbrell, he did not pitch in the All-Star game, and it was his 7th All-Star game, but it was expected that he wouldn't pitch because the Mariners reliever Diaz is some say he's a little better than Kimbrell. Kimbrell the second best maybe, but Diaz has 36 saves, so the league leading amount of saves. So he pitched, and then Happ went in extra innings for his first career save, believe it or not. And yeah, so the AL did defeat the NL 8-6 and a 10-inning thriller, really. 10 home runs in the game. It's an all-star game record, actually. And all the runs came off of home runs, believe it or not. And it was 2-1 all the way up to the 7th. And it seemed like it was going to be another one of those low-scoring all-star games. But then the bat started flying. And it was 5-5 after 9. The AL was leading 5-2 at a point, but it wasn't enough after 9 innings because the NL got a run to make it 5-3, and then in the 9th, Gannett hit a 2-run homer to tie the game up and force it to extra innings. But then the AL with 3 runs in the top of the 10th, the NL actually pulled one back in the bottom of the 10th, but not enough. Ultimately, the game was about 4 hours actually, but it was fun. It was a good game, and it was definitely a fun game to watch. And also, with Rob Gronkowski expected to attend Patriots training camp, despite all the news going on that all the news, him doing crazy stuff, saying he's gonna do WWE, that he's going to retire to do that, going to do motorcycle racing, all that crazy stuff he's been talking about. After all that, it does seem there's been reports out that he's going to be at training camp. So that's good for the Patriots fans. Real question is he going to get his contract, and how much will he be paid? Because it's not hard to argue that he's the best tight end in the league, but he doesn't get paid the most for a tight end, and some people think he should stay around where he is, or maybe only go up to 11 or 12 million. But other people say he's a special kind of tight end, and like at least 25% better than all the other tight ends, and should be paid about like even 15 or 16 million. But obviously, other people disagree with that. But just good to see him attending Patriots training camp, if the reports are true. And who knows, despite all the speculation going around with the Patriots, everything might go fine. Rob Gronkowski he'll probably get his contract that's fine with that he wants, or he'll have to deal with that anyway. And Tom Brady will get his contract, and it will be fine for the start of the season. But who knows? There's been drama going on this whole time. And also, remember Brandon Cooks on the Patriots? The Rams signed the wide receiver to a 5-year, ready for this, $80 million contract extension. He hasn't even played a game for them yet, and he just got an $80 million contract extension for 5 years. That's ridiculous. That's $16 million a year. Me personally, I liked him on the Patriots. He was all right, pretty good. But I don't know if he's worth $16 million a year. I'm not so sure about that. But anyway, yes, as I mentioned earlier, David Ortiz he actually did manage the world team in the on Sunday during the MLB Futures game, I should say, and his team lost actually, but he said it was a cool experience for him to manage, and obviously all of Boston loves Big Papi, as he is a sensation around town, and good for Big Papi at the All-Star game, and he played about almost 15 years, from 2003 to 2016 as the DH and first baseman. And speaking of the Red Sox right now, they have 68 wins, the best record in the league right now. But we're only a little past the halfway point. Obviously, with the All-Star game going on, they call that the halfway point. Even though we're a little over, there's been 98 games played and 64 to go. So a little well over halfway, to be honest. But it'll be interesting to see what goes on in the second half. Right now, the Red Sox leading the Yankees by 4.5 games, which is quite, believe it or not, the big lead considering what it's been the last couple months, really. And they have a 4.5 game lead, so in not firm control, but control of the division right now. And that's ultimately what it will come down to in the AL between it'll basically all come down to the Red Sox Yankees. So obviously Houston, defending World Series champions, who actually knocked out the Red Sox in the divisional round last season, they're having pretty good season, if not even better than last year, although the Red Sox still do have the best record in the league. And the Mariners doing good too. The AL's pretty impressive right now. And the Indians, also the other team in the playoff picture right now. A weak division, really, out of all the divisions. It's probably one of the weakest. And the AL is a lot better than the NL this year, though. I think the first place team in the NL would be like 5th in the AL, so that shows you how much better the AL is. But right now, the Red Sox, if the playoffs started today, the Red Sox would play the winner of the Yankees Mariners, and the Indians would play the Astros. So that's how it is right now. Obviously, the Red Sox stars, JD Martinez, Mookie Betts, as long as they keep up their home runs and everything that they've been doing, they should be in good shape for the rest of this season. But it will come down to the wire, because they'll need at least 100 wins to win the division, if not more, in my opinion. Because the Yankees, they know they're 4.5 games back, and they'll show up. They have Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, Luis Severino. So Yankees Red Sox rivalry seems to be coming back, to what it used to be. Two great teams this season, and it will be fun once it gets to playoff time to see Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, Chris Sale, Craig Kimbrell relieving, Mitch Moreland obviously having a pretty good season with team. And yeah, so the Red Sox will be looking to finish first ahead of the Yankees, avoiding that wild card game, which is always really a coin toss, depending on how good the teams are. It's a 1-game playoff, which adds the suspense of the MLB playoffs. And it's always really could go either way, no matter who's home or away. It's a 1-game playoff, and depending on if you show up or not, your playoffs could be done in 1 game. So avoiding that wild card game is huge for those teams, for the top 3, the 3 divisional winners. And yeah, also, the overnight sensation was Liz Cambage. Obviously, as I said earlier, setting the WNBA single game record with 53 points in 1 game for the New York Liberty, and that's impressive. she outscored the other team starters 53-43, and half of her team's points as they won 107-84, I believe, not pretty much a blowout. And for her to do that and set the record, it's impressive, especially not a big name in WNBA basketball. Obviously she's one of the best players, but for her to put on a performance like that, it's impressive to say the least. And yes, going back to some Patriots talk, preseason, believe it or not, starts a week from tomorrow, training camp anyway. And the Hall of Fame game being August 2nd between the Bears and Ravens in Canton, Ohio, at the Hall of Fame field where the Hall of Fame members will be inducted. And then the following week will be when preseason begins. And Patriots have 4 preseason games, including one versus the Eagles in a rematch of the Super Bowl. Obviously preseason, so not the hype you'd expect. But at least we'll get some football back. You know, I will admit I've missed the NFL since the season ended, especially since the Patriots lost to the Eagles. Obviously, tough for all of us Boston sports fans. But so I'm excited to get the season going, and who knows what will go on with the Patriots with all the drama going on with Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman being suspended 4 games actually. It'll be quite the season to look forward to around the league, really, also, and it'll be a fun season. Yes, so that's that, and also Brandon Cook signed that extension. I think it's absolutely crazy, really, for him to be paid that much. I don't know what the Rams exactly see in him. He's a good player. Nothing great, you know, but it's crazy to see that going on, and it'll be interesting to see how the Rams in general do bouncing back from last season, and also the I want to get into some NBA and NHL. Obviously, NBA and NHL, Bruins and Celtics still on off season, but before we know it, preseason will begin, and there's been a lot of talk about this guy, Kyrie Irving. People saying that he wants to join Jimmy Butler with the Knicks next summer, and I'm not so sure what to think about that because I thought he went to the Celtics to win a championship, you know? I mean, he might walk away if the Celtics win a championship this year, which it could happen. I mean, it would be great for it to happen as for us Boston sports fans, but I don't know. I thought when he signed with the Celtics, I thought it would be more of a long-term. Who knows? It might not even happen, but it's definitely been out there and discussed. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard, reports saying that he's been traded to the Raptors for DeMar DeRozan. So DeRozan going to the Spurs now and Leonard on the Raptors. Just another reason for the Celtics to not you know, everyone really thought that with LeBron going to LA, that the Celtics, it would be their year they should win the East. It should be not easy, but not too hard at all. The Raptors are only excuse me, are only challenged somewhat. They're a pretty decent team, you know? But now with Kawhi Leonard going to the Raptors, we should hold on for a second because it will be a little tougher road. As long as he doesn't get injured and nothing crazy goes on like at the Spurs, which I don't think will occur. The Raptors will be a pretty decent team. I'm not saying just Kawhi Leonard will make them, you know, great, but we'll see how that goes. Obviously, some big NBA news that is in that trade going on, and obviously, the Celtics have a lot to look forward to. Gordon Hayward returning. Obviously, Kyrie Irving returning from being out for the whole playoffs, actually, which was, and the Celtics even almost went to the championships after beating. Playing now, it should be an even better Boston Celtics team. Obviously, the youth with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, even Terry Rozier. And the big man Aaron Baines. It's Marcus Smart still on the team actually. It'll be a fun team to watch, and it'll definitely be fun to watch the Celtics. And as I move on to some Bruins talk, the Bruins, the last season better than the season before, but going out second round, a little disappointing. Obviously, to a fantastic Tampa Bay team. We'll see which type of moves they make, because Tampa obviously is only getting better. Toronto is someone to worry about. So it'll be tough for the Bruins, but I wouldn't say at all a disappointing season last year. I mean, making it to the second round and play the best team in the Eastern Conference, Tampa Bay, it was quite the challenge. Going up 1-0 in the series at Tampa Bay was pretty impressive. And then to lose in the end, losing the next 4 games, in fact, it was tough. But we'll have to rebuild for this next season, which before we know it, will be going on, and it'll be something to watch, definitely. Also, I wanted to talk about some of back to focusing on the Red Sox. What do you fans think? Do you think I was wondering, how many wins do you think they'll need to secure a top spot in the division? Because I think definitely over 100, I believe. And Big Papi said the same thing. Because it's a stacked division. Them and the Yankees, not division, I should say. Them and the Yankees, because Tampa, Baltimore, and who's the other team in their division? They'll come up to me. Obviously, not too good this year, especially Baltimore offense. Toronto, that's who it is. Toronto, all right, just a little below 500. So it's the Yankees and Red Sox. That's my point. And this upcoming season will be. This upcoming second half of the season, I meant to say, will be interesting, because the Yankees know they're 4.5 games behind. They'll catch up. I bet every time the Red Sox lose a game now and then, as they're playing right now, it'll be now and then. Unless something disastrous happens, the Yankees will make sure they keep winning, and that gap, I'm sure it will close and get tighter and tighter, and they'll keep having it'll be a grind till the end of the season. And I'm not sure how many series left they have with the Yankees. I believe it's 2. I'm not sure. I'm not positive though. But it will definitely be a good battle in the AL East, with obviously, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, the best rivalry in baseball. But the real question is the pitching. The pitching is a real question, because it hasn't changed much. It hasn't really changed at all. And that was the worry of last season in the playoffs. So what do you people think? Do you think that that we should be more confident this year with the bats we have, or will pitching still be a concern? Obviously, we have Chris Sale, the best pitcher in the league, probably. But will that be enough? Because obviously, David Price, he'll show up some days, other days, not so much. And it's hard for him to deal with playoff pressure, really. And Eduardo Rodriguez is a pretty good pitcher that we have. And so it'll really be interesting to see. Once we get to the playoffs, for all Red Sox fans, really, everyone will be a little nervous, because obviously the last 2 years going down in the playoffs, obviously swept by Cleveland and then only winning 1 game, losing 3-1 to Houston last season. not too good for them. Even though they went straight to the divisional round, playing some tough teams, I'll admit it. Obviously, losing to Houston, with Houston going all the way to win the World Series. But I'm interested because this MLB season, especially for us Red Sox fans, will be something. It'll be a special end of the season and postseason. I think for all baseball fans, really, it's been a great season. I think, and it will be interesting to see how they do. We'll answer today's trivia right now. The question was, who was the first Red Sox player to win the All-Star MVP award? The choices were Ted Williams, Carl Yastrzemski, and Carlton Fisk. And the answer is Carl Yastrzemski. Obviously, the Red Sox great. It was in 1970 he won the All-Star MVP award, going 6 for 8, I believe, and a pretty impressive stat. And believe it or not, he made 18 All-Star appearances. I don't know if it's the record, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is, because absolute dominance by Carl Yastrzemski. He was one of the Red Sox greats, definitely. And yeah, 1970 All-Star MVP award. And to end this show, we have about 3 minutes left. I'll talk a little bit about the Revolution, New England Revolution. Right now, sitting 5th in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, a devastating loss to the LA Galaxy Saturday night at Gillette Stadium. They were up 2-1 in stoppage time, and LA scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, basically the 92nd, 93rd minute, and it went from a win, sure win, to 2 minutes later being a loss at the end of the day. Not even a draw they could manage there. And so very disappointing for Revolution fans. But although they did play great a majority of the game, obviously getting a red card early on, but then you would have never guessed they were playing down a man, because they went up and then LA Galaxy got a red card, Ashley Cole, and then it was even 10-on-10 with two red cards, 1 for each team. And that's when LA Galaxy got their late goals. So it was a tough loss, but they did play well for most of the game anyway. every moment of the game pretty much till stoppage time. But let's see how they bounce back tonight. They play at Minnesota United. Obviously, their second year in the MLS, Minnesota United, as an expansion team from last year. Not a good season last year. This year's a little bit better. Not sure exactly where they are in the standings, but I think they're a little outside of a playoff spot, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry if I am. Anyway, they're at Minnesota United tonight, a rare Wednesday night game, the only MLS game tonight, actually. So they'll take on Minnesota United from Minneapolis, and it'll be a game to watch for sure. If you're not living in New England, but a New England sports fan like I am, get ESPN Plus. You can watch. It's $5 a month. You can watch all MLS games on that. And I have a cord to hook my computer onto my TV, so it's like I'm watching on TV. And so it'll be interesting to see what they do tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time, that is. And for those of you on the West Coast, it'll be at 5 p.m. Any New England sports fans out there. And it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back. Obviously, they had a World Cup break a couple weeks ago, and coming back from it, you don't know what to expect from a lot of teams, and they performed pretty well so far. Obviously, a tough loss, but we'll see how it goes. Still in a playoff spot, top 6 make the MLS playoffs, with the top 2 getting a bye. And it'll be interesting to see how the Revs do and see if they can climb up the standings. Obviously, Atlanta having a great season, really. I think on top of the table by 8 points or so over second place. So we'll see how the Revs do. And thank you for tuning in to New England Sports today. I'll see you tomorrow, and hope you have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.